is starting. The stream. The stream. The stream is starting. The stream. The stream. The stream is starting. Oh my gosh, it's a stream. Do the stream. Do the stream. Do the stream. It's doing the stream. We're the streamer. Doing the streaming. Streaming stuff. Real Jimmy Hours. Dun 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 Time to open the dashboard. We're starting the stream. We're doing the stream. Title is updated. Oh my gosh. It's happening. We are creating the content. I will now make sure everything is fine. Okay. It is time. Welcome to Real Jimmy Hours. We're not ready yet. The stream will commence now. Oh no! Welcome to Real Jimmy Hours, Episode 0.
Oh my god.
Origins.
I didn't realize you were starting this, or else my phone will be charging. See, this is how you know that.
Kyle? I told you it was happening.
You said you were deafening.
I deafened, started.
You lie? Hold on.
Oh.
This is the thing.
Alright.
What is the game? I mean, I needed it, but hold on.
Oh, fuck! Well, this is off to a rousing success. Kyle should have been prepared. I should have told Kyle that I was starting the show.
Oh, it's coming now. Now we're coming. Oh, we're coming now.
Oh, no. Okay.
Now we're coming.
I've already gotten some chat messages.
Okay.
Scooty says hello. And then he's subscribed to Twitch Prime for 13 months. That's very kind of you. Nice Mountain Dew Gamer Fuel. Thank you, Stochastic. Kyle, if you would just sit down.
What do you need? What do you need from me, Jim?
You couldn't hear me at all.
Nope.
Well, welcome everybody to the inaugural episode of,
Real Jimmy
Hours. The podcast with two men named Kyle and Jake, where only one of them goes by Jim. Sometimes James.
Men in a truck.
Two men in a truck.
And they fucking.
And they're fucking.
Two men.
Go on.
Fucking.
I'll let you do it. Go ahead.
What?
Whatever your tangent you're going on, you go ahead.
You don't want me to that's okay. So that's this is origin story, right? So this is the origins of Real Jimmy Hours. So we're gonna figure this out together.
Yes.
Now, am I allowed to go on tangents? Because I feel like there's a very real
I'll be honest
fear for me of I'm gonna get you banned. You're not a lenity, so you're not gonna get unbanned. You know what I'm saying?
If you go on tangents, I will.
Mm-hmm. You might. I feel like my tangents might be slightly more know.
Well,
So we're figuring this out together as a team, as a group, as a unit.
let's have you know what? If you're
What do you want?
going in a bad direction, I'll hold up the red Joy-Con.
Okay. Now, when we're Joy-Conning here,
Yes.
you realize that I can only see you on a delay. So I feel like this tangent might be a little.
I'll.
You know what I'm saying?
There will also be.
You feel me?
There will also be an auditory Joy-Conning
Okay.
where I've told you that I'm holding up the Joy-Con.
Okay. Well, that makes sense.
If there is no Joy-Con present,
Yeah.
you're doing great.
Cool. Is there a Joy-Con present at this moment?
Well, there was, but now there's
Is
not. I put
sucking
it
your
down.
own dick gay? That's a really good question. And one that I've thought of often.
Wait. All right, now this is new. This is how we're gonna start the show every episode now, by
What, is sucking your
asking
own dick gay?
a question.
John, is sucking your own dick gay? No. John says no. I
No.
was gonna say it is.
Now the question is, can you? Can you?
Is jacking off giving you a hand up? Well, no, but I feel like because I don't know. No, I'm answering this question here. Like masturbation is jerking off giving you a hand job.
Absolutely, it is. It's a hand, and you're working.
Yeah, but it's more about. Does it feel more like you're because if you're sucking your own dick, it's more about sucking a penis than it is
But
your
it's
penis being
but
sucked.
it's yours. It's
But
on
it's
your body.
penis. Right.
I
These
mean,
tattoos are on my body. They belong to me.
yeah, your tattoos aren't gay.
Some. Are you gay if you touch your own penis? That's the argument that's being presented currently.
I
Yeah, I guess it's not gay.
well, I mean,
I mean that makes sense.
nobody's asking you to swallow.
All right, guys, this has been the inaugural episode of Real Jimmy Hours.
Oh,
Thank you so much.
That is a red Joy-Con, and I'm giving it to myself.
You're giving it to yourself. Now, is that gay?
Absolutely. I mean, it's a red Joy-Con, so
Right.
yes. Kyle, what is this?
Jim, what do you got?
What?
What is what?
What is Real Jimmy Hours?
Real Jimmy Hours is
You coined the term.
essentially- Okay.
You tell us what it is.
Dude, Real Jimmy Hours it's a thing. So basically, I often go on these tangents, and I have one of these brains that like. So this is I'm gonna turn a very simple story into a complex story because I don't have caffeine in me, so it's kind of hard for me to just pin it down.
Of course.
I have since July of last year decided to just be more transparent about my thoughts. I always used just hold these bad boys in. You
Yeah,
know,
of course.
Like communicate well. And then I said, fuck that. I'm not going to do that anymore. I'm going to communicate better. What I've since found is now when I become a sad boy, which I am, when I have little sad boy episodes, I like to talk to people about it.
Uh-huh.
And I want to say the phrase got coined because I wanted to talk to you about some shit, and then it's just been a thing ever since. That's pretty accurate, right?
Yeah. So for anybody, well, actually, I'm fairly certain no one outside of the Grizcord knows.
Right.
One of the nicknames that my friends have coined for me came from some weird ADHD fueled rant that I was going on, where I just was calling myself Jameson Jackson Jr. the 4th or 3rd. I can't remember which.
I thought it was the third, dude.
I-
There's 3 J's. Jameson Jackson Jr.
Three,
yeah,
three,
there's
yeah,
3 J's.
3J. So it must have been the
Yeah.
3rd.
Yeah, it was the 3rd.
And that has stuck for, I want to say, the better part of a year
It's been
where
a while.
people that I am friends with will just call me Jim or Jimmy
Yeah.
or
I call him Jimmy-san.
Jameson.
Like Jameson. Yeah.
Anything except my actual name, which is Jake.
I don't even remember your real name. Oh, there it is.
There are a couple people that like sometimes say my real name, and I'm like, what the fuck is going on? So yeah, Real Jimmy Hours is like,
It's just a time to talk, man. Like it's just we just talk. That's it. I've always felt I feel like a lot of people just in the world have really entertaining conversations with their friends, and everybody has those moments where
Uh-huh.
they go, dude, like
yeah,
I wish we would have recorded that. And this is kind of one of those things of like we have so many conversations where I go, I fucking wish there was footage of this part.
yes,
So why not film it? Who gives a fuck?
yeah, and
That's my
I mean, I've always wanted to do a podcast or something like this,
Mhm.
because I love talking. I love
Same.
talking to my friends.
Same.
And it's just fun.
Yeah, brother.
There's not really much more to it. So
Let's go, buddy. You said
Kyle, it's
we
time for
were
Real
prepared
Jimmy
questions.
Hours. I have
Yeah.
some questions.
Yeah, dude.
And I hope you have some questions.
I did not prepare any on purpose because I figured I just if there's one thing I'm good at, it's just bullshitting. So I figured,
Alright.
why not fucking let's just
Okay,
test
you know
the
that's
waters,
that's
what I'm saying?
fine. That's fine. Well, I'm gonna start off.
Okay,
Kyle,
Jim.
this is going back to childhood.
Mm-hmm.
Did you have a happy childhood?
Are you asking me this? This is how you fucking started, dude?
We're breaking the ice. Did you have a happy childhood?
Jesus Christ, Jimothy.
I know you hung out with your brother a lot, but did you enjoy yourself?
No.
Okay.
My parents did everything they could to make sure I had a good childhood. So like I am the quintessential piece of shit that did not have a good childhood, but it was no fault of my fucking parents. Like,
So you had a solid upbringing.
yeah, my parents are dope. I mean,
Cause
man,
what
this is how you're starting it?
Yes!
God bless you, dude.
It's Real Jimmy Hours.
Ah, fuck. Yeah, okay. Real Jimmy Hours. Let's
Like,
go.
From what I've heard
Mhm.
of your parents, they're lovely people.
They're fantastic.
What the heck happened?
Shit. So, god damn, dude, this is how we're starting it.
Yeah.
Okay. I was talking about this. So we shot a music video yesterday, and two of the actors one was 18 and one was 17.
Okay.
And so their parents were there. And what I didn't know about the one kid's mom is that she's a psych major and her husband's a psych major.
Okay.
And I went on this. So this song that we recorded a video for is about it's like it's the depression song.
Okay.
One of those.
One of them
And,
sad boy songs.
One of them sad boy songs, and the album itself is like mental health awareness kind of thing.
Sure.
And something that I'm like really big on. And I was going on this tangent about mental health awareness and depression and all that. And it was such an awkward conversation to have in front of my parents because it's like we've never actually had that talk, right?
Okay.
And it's one of those things of like the way that I grew up, the way that my parents were, where if you don't have a bone sticking out of your body, you can't bitch.
Okay.
And if like when I would get depressive episodes as a child, it was just straight up just get the fuck up, man up, blah blah, because like they didn't know.
Sure.
Like they didn't know what the fuck that was. So they just thought I was lazy. So they just thought it was like interesting that like literally like there would just be days at a time where like I wouldn't make my room, like I wouldn't do anything. Like I wouldn't do anything. And they just never thought they just thought I was just a lazy fuck. Which
Okay.
I was, but like that was like slightly unrelated. So I ended up having this kind of awkward conversation in front of my mom yesterday with like this lady. Um, and yeah, long story short, fuck. Long story short, my parents had no idea what the fuck depression was when I was a kid,
Okay.
and the first episode I ever had, I was like 12 years old, and yeah, that's the first time that it really fucking hit me, and it's like kind of interesting to note that like around that time, like for me, just growing up, I didn't have any friends. I just had my brother.
Sure.
A lot of that was because I was a premature baby
Okay.
and I died. Like my heart. I said died. Like my heart stopped.
Okay.
Like shortly after I was born, and so like it's like they were like trying to resuscitate me, doing all this shit like that, blah blah blah, and then like they ended up resuscitating me, obviously because I'm here, and I feel like that, like me basically, hey, here's your newborn baby. Just kidding, he's dead. Oh, just kidding, we got him back. I feel like that might have caused some kind of emotional trauma, like with my parents, to where they were like super protective of me as a kid.
Oh,
So like,
absolutely.
I didn't have friends. I really wasn't allowed to do anything.
Okay.
Like
But you
to
played
be completely
baseball.
honest, that was it.
Okay.
No, like that was it. Like that was life. It was school was a vehicle for baseball.
Okay.
Like I went to school. My parents obviously my parents wanted me to get good grades so that I could get into a good school so I could play baseball my whole life. Like that was it. Like
Sure.
that's what the fuck. And so like the kids on the team, like I don't know, nobody really gave a fuck. Um, I don't know, man. It's one of those. I always kind of felt isolated, and
Sure.
yeah, I just yeah, like I didn't have a happy childhood, but like it's not for lack of like my parents being like my parents were dope. Like
Sure.
my dad always tried to make sure that like we had whatever we needed. Like
Sure.
my dad works really hard. He always has. Um, yeah, so
So it's not that you had like a shitty life, or like
no, no, not at all.
it was just
Like I
chemical
would
imbalance in your
say,
brain is mean.
pretty much, yeah, yeah, pretty much the chemical imbalance and then
Sure.
intrusive thoughts
Yeah.
and like toxic behavioral patterns, like that kind of like is kind of that whole deal.
Sure.
And then I think there's like there's a little minor trauma thrown in there, but
Sure.
like not really, you know, nothing like you see in fucking movies of shit. So victim of circumstance, yeah.
Yeah.
Um, Yeah, so just kind of that. Like it wasn't like, you know, and to be quite honest, this is a conversation that I've had with a lot of people when it comes to mental health because like I am so open about like me, like with
Sure.
depression and anxiety and shit. Um, a lot of people I talk to have trauma, like real fucking trauma. So like in
Sure.
a way, it's also kind of that what's the fucking psychological term? Imposter syndrome,
Sure.
where then it's kind of like I have this like almost guilt of not having a fucking traumatic childhood. So then
Sure.
I'm talking to people with like real traumatic childhoods. I'm like, oh, so like you like earned it.
Yeah.
like meanwhile, like I'm just a piece of shit over here going like, hey, I hate existing
Sure.
for no reason, you know. So that's I mean that's the thing. But goddamn, dude, right? That's what we're opening with, huh? Okay, here
Yeah.
you go. All right.
Um.
Jesus Christ.
Were do you were you ever able to talk to your brother about the
About what?
like your depression stuff? Because
No.
okay. Is that
So
just
like
because
we were
you couldn't, or
no, like honestly, that kind of conversation, like I will 100% say like whether like fuck man, you're gonna make me say this on the fucking live recording.
well, you don't have to say anything
My
that you're
my no, just like my family was very emotionally withdrawn.
okay.
I will say, I can say that like we really didn't talk about those things.
Well, I mean
So
that's like not everybody did. Like
yeah,
it's not. I mean, I feel like it's pretty rare to have like like a fan, like me. My parents were social workers, uh,
Yeah.
and we had talks about mental health, like all sorts of that stuff, like
Hmm.
all the time when I was growing up. Like, not everybody has that or
Yeah.
can have that
Yeah.
opportunity. So I think it's fair.
Yeah. That's kind of an interesting, like an interesting thing to think about, like in the difference. Cause how old are you?
26.
Yeah. Okay. I guess it's not that big of an age gap. But yeah, that's kind of interesting to think about because that is another factor of that. Yeah, like we didn't talk about feelings. I never had a talk. Like I never had the birds and the bees talk. I never had the hey you seem sad talk. It was just
Sure.
like it was more or less like I don't know. Like my parents are workaholics, so the only real conversations in regard to that was essentially you're not being productive.
Mm-hmm.
You need to be productive.
Sure.
I guess in a way. Like I guess that's fair. I don't know how to describe it, but it's like it wasn't shitty. Like it's just Chris and I, like my brother is like one of my best friends.
Yeah.
We never talked about emotions. We never talked about anything like that. Like it was I don't know, it's kind of interesting to think about like as you say that. Um I guess I'm getting a free therapy session here. Um but yeah, like we never talked about that shit. So
Do you think um I'm actually curious because I don't think we've talked about this. Do you think all of the like stuff you and your brother did, like gaming and stuff like that, was kind of a substitute for talking
100%.
about it?
100%.
Okay.
Yeah, I would absolutely say that. I would say that it took me a very long time to recognize that I was just using um I was using video games as a form of escapism.
Sure.
Um, I mean, it's as simple as that. Um, it I don't know. I didn't. It's kind of interesting because I feel like I have good social skills. I feel like I'm a good conversationalist.
Yeah.
I feel like it's one of my strong suits. I also feel like I'm emotionally like I feel like I'm emotionally mature enough to have a to understand people, understand a lot of just complex scenarios and just be tactful
Sure.
about conversation pieces and stuff. But there is kind of an interesting thing where like I learned that from video games in a way, which is I think different than a lot of people because like I don't know, for me I just played a lot of RPGs growing up.
Sure.
And it was that like here I am just kind of a kid like locked in a fucking house like I can't really go outside. I mean I could go outside obviously. I could play with my brother and shit like that, but you know, wasn't really allowed to stay with anybody. Just I don't know. I don't know. It's kind of a weird thing, but yeah, video games were 100% escapism. Shortcomings were framed as failings rather than an obstacle. Um, yeah, yeah, I think that's actually a very fair way to say that. And that's kind of a toxic habit that is still there. I would say that most of my intrusive thoughts are of the failing kind, even if there's no set line for failure. It's almost like I don't know. It's kind of like this moral barometer of what's set, or this like kind of fake line that's drawn, and it's like if I went above or below it or whatever, then like you would say that that's failure.
Sure.
Um, I don't know. Damn, dude, I didn't sign up for a therapy session. Kind of upset right now. A little upset. But
Hey, at
okay.
least you don't have to bill your insurance.
Dude, that's true. My therapist cost me $60 a session, so which some
And
people pay a lot more than that.
all you have to do for me is give me a free long sleeve.
Yeah, you're not getting one of those, but you can buy one.
uh, uh,
Yeah.
so I would say I would very much agree that you're very social. At least in places that you feel comfortable. Like
Yeah.
I'm sure like when I first started hanging out with Grizz, uh we're like
Yeah, fuck you, healthcare.
yeah, for sure. Uh I'm sure it took us a bit to like get comfortable with each other. I mean, it did for me cuz I'm awkward as
Mhm.
fuck and I don't like people. Um but you're the type of person that like
If
I,
I'm comfortable, I can bring anybody into a conversation.
yeah,
If I'm so if you look at conversation or socializing as like a power, like a balance of power, if I have the balance of power, I will include everybody I possibly can.
sure.
But if I am like literally in my own, okay, so we shot that video yesterday.
Uh-huh.
I showed up, and this is an interesting thing that would like I thought of is I showed up late, and so the director, his assistant, the two actors, and their parents were all there when I pulled up. So I immediately felt like, even though this is my band shoot, like I'm paying for this, I'm in charge of this. I was immediately like, boom, like just panicked, anxious, like just
Sure.
inside myself. And aside from introducing myself, I really didn't interact with anybody. Like until later on when I got more comfortable. Like once Chris showed up and then once, like a couple actors cycled out and everybody was there for a while and conversation happened, then I was able to just
Sure.
talk and be me and shit like that.
Yeah.
But like it's very
Takes a minute.
it really takes me a minute. And like once I'm there, I'll just fucking go.
Yeah.
It's definitely a thing.
Uh it's and I know we've had some pretty deep conversations about loads of stuff. Like recently there's just been like shit going on with both of us in our personal lives. It's like nobody wants to deal with that shit. But like
Hmm.
you just you just send in Discord RJH question mark and then we talk for 2.5 hours
Yep.
about whatever.
Hmm.
And I don't do that with I don't do that with everybody. I don't do that with
Yeah.
many people, but you're just like you make it so easy to just like word vomit.
Yeah, I think I do that. I think I have a tendency to do that with people. I think that just my honesty when it comes to shit is really so this is a funny thing. I went to the bar. I went to a bar that I'd only been to once before last weekend, I think. And so I'm sitting there. I'm with my friend April, and like we're just chilling, catching up. She's going through this whole dude thing of like this. I love April. She's such a cool human being, and she just picks the wrong motherfuckers. It's just one of those like
Sure.
she picks the wrong motherfuckers. So um she ends up in these situations where it's like she gets attached and it's just the whole. I mean, I kind of do the same thing, so I'm not gonna like share all her shit, but like I do a similar thing. And so like we're basically like, let's go get some drinks, like let's go to a place we don't normally go to, just fucking chill, catch up, blah blah blah, all that. And then like to my right, there's just I don't pay attention to people. The only reason that I knew he was there is because he was just this really just loud, exuberant dude. And he's like on the phone and he just starts yelling at the friend, not yelling aggressively, but it's like I'm over here kind of a thing. And he's just one of those really just extroverted people. So he starts a conversation with us.
Mhm.
And so his friends get there. And so now it's like the two of us and the four of them. and now we have this collective group that we wouldn't have had otherwise.
Sure.
And just how transparent I am with shit, and I don't mind. I like literally. There's really not a thing I won't talk about, for better or worse. I won't. Like I really don't have a line drawn. So, um, he starts telling me something, and the girl next to him goes, "I've been your friend for 8 years, and you've never told me that." He's like, we just kind of. He's like, "Well, he makes it really easy to talk about this
Yeah.
stuff." I mean, yeah, like so it's really cool. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. I wouldn't say it's a new thing, but it's kind of a new thing for me. Of like that aspect of me, I think is not necessarily new, but I think I'm no longer hesitant to talk about things because I used to have this thought process of like the more people know about me, the more they can use it as ammunition and shit like that.
Sure.
And like the older I've gotten and just going through life, the more I've just kind of looked at that and said, dude, fuck it. Like, what the fuck are you gonna do? Tell somebody something that I told you that I actually fucking believe? Okay, fuck it. If that's a problem,
Sure.
fuck it. Like I don't care. Like I say I don't care. Obviously, there's a level of it that I do care, but I mean, what are you gonna do, realistically?
Sure.
So, do you
Um,
want to introduce your guest or what?
well, Rob, I introduced him 31 minutes ago when the podcast started.
Ooh, son.
This is Kyle, or Goats A through B, or Naming Way, or what are your other names? Or
That's really it.
that's it. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
He's a very good friend.
Well, it could be in the title.
Could be in the title. You're right. Could be in the title. Yeah, we're very good friends that talk really loudly about things, and now we stream it.
Yep.
All right.
Super Kuroshi 5000. Oh my god, I forgot about that name.
Is that real?
That's actually a really offensive name. Yeah, that's my old league name.
That's your old league name.
Yeah.
I want to meet that Kyle.
You really
Who
don't.
decided like Super Kuroshi
really
5000 is my online ID?
Well, because Kuroshi is the Japanese term for overworked to death. Yeah. And I'm pretty sure it was like a Flash game called Super Kuroshi. I'm pretty sure is what inspired it, and then I just decided I wanted my name like Super Kuroshi 5000.
And now you're living in a mansion.
Yeah.
Living the life of a rock star.
Yeah, I'm living in a mansion. You nailed it. Fucking Super Kuroshi Salaryman. Yeah, that was the name of it.
Wait, is that an actual game?
Yes.
That's the game?
Yes.
Super Kuroshi. Oh my god, this is real. This
Yeah.
is real life.
Yes, it is.
There's a sequel. There's a 2. Man,
Good.
that's crazy.
Good. You need to kill yourself with safes and stuff. Yeah, that game was the tits.
So where do you think you learned this? Like the like what makes you talk so good?
What make me talk good?
What make you talk good? Cause whenever we like have our off-stream Real Jimmy hours,
Mm-hmm.
there's it's a very big like dichotomy between us, where I am a stumbling like idiot, and you're fairly eloquent about even the most like
Me talk good. Yeah.
shitty situations. But you
Um,
said that you didn't grow up with that.
Yeah. So the one thing I will say is like the way I grew up was like I said, emotionally, like I didn't grow up in the most emotionally transparent or emotionally mature
Okay.
family, I guess would be a good way to say it. but like we always joked back and forth. We always like just gave each other shit. Like because I think basically like my parents were athletes. My dad was a wrestler. My mom did like gymnastics and all
Okay.
this shit. Um, so I think there's that like almost like ribbing nature of like teams, like sports teams, where
Sure.
like that locker room give each other shit, and it's like that was like my family. Like that's what we grew up doing.
Okay.
So in a way, um, that like just quick bouncing back and forth. I think there's like just growing up in that environment is there. So it's almost even though socially, like from an anxiety standpoint, like I have to be comfortable or I shut down. Um, there is that level of once I'm there, I'm really good at just staying like not getting caught up in shit. And so it's like I can just spout whatever off, and then the same thing of like speaking like really eloquently. Um, I think that's a byproduct of like it's a combination of that and like you know I used to read so many fucking books, dude. Like growing up because once again, like I really didn't do anything. It was like baseball, books, and video games. Like that was literally all I did. I didn't have, dude. I didn't have a girlfriend. I didn't have anything like that. I was just
Sure.
a fucking nerd, dude. Like I grew up playing Ultima Online, like Final Fantasy, Ultima Online, Diablo 2, StarCraft, Warcraft, WoW, like fuck, like I mean, like if name a JRPG on the Super Nintendo, and I've probably played it, like even the Japanese ones because like I would just emulate them shits, but
Sure.
um, yeah. So I would say there's a level of that, the emotional maturity of being able to have these conversations. I don't know. I think there's a little bit of like being bullied and like being witty enough to come back that like I thrive with too. Because like the older I get, and like it's a really cool thing that like really cool conversation I've had with my dad, where like I've been in like situations where like people want to fight or whatever, and like my thought process has always been like before I didn't know how to fight. Like
Uh huh.
before, like I was just a fucking like scrawny little fucking nerd. I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. I was afraid to fight, but like my thought process was if I'm gonna beat somebody up, I'm gonna make fun of them before they do it because
Okay.
like if they're talking shit, I'm gonna make them feel bad, like emotionally,
Sure.
and mentally because they can make me feel bad physically. And then I started doing jujitsu and kickboxing like 10 years ago, and then once I started getting comfortable with like that shit, then my thought process just became, okay, well, I mean, if they want to fight me, I'm gonna make fun of them. So then I beat them emotionally, mentally, and physically.
The Holy
So
Trinity.
it can the Holy Trinity, as it were, yeah. And like I think that there's something to be said for that of what's the word I'm looking for? But just I don't know, like staying in it of not getting overwhelmed
Sure.
conversation wise, like whether it's emotional trauma, physical trauma, whatever, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Um, yeah,
Yeah. That was. See,
yeah, dude.
you're so
Welcome
eloquent.
to the fucking club, you guys. Yeah, welcome to the fucking world. This is this is my tangents.
um. Okay. Uh. All right. Have you come up with any bullshit for me?
Jimmy, yeah, I can bullshit all day, but the thing about it is
Yeah.
I was not informed that we'd be having some like real Jimmy hours. You know what I'm saying?
Dude, we're
Like
going. We're doing
like
it.
this is it. This is some real goddamn Jimmy hours. Um, yeah, well, see, I don't make fun of it. Like what? Yeah, like what I don't go out of my way to do it, and I don't look to fight. Like I literally ever since I got into that and even before, um, I don't want to. I don't want to fight anybody, and like I've actually I actually de-escalate situations. Like the situations that I've been in since I started doing jujitsu and stuff, I've de-escalated them because like I don't want to fight anybody, but it's almost like I do it. I get uncomfortable, so I laugh. I laugh when I'm uncomfortable, and then like I just start. Then my mouth just starts going.
Sure.
It's like that'll be a thing. But like my go-to, and it sounds so stupid, but like my go-to after basically like how I always word it is like, man, this is really I'm 30 years old. Like so it's like, dude, like really like this is fucking stupid. Like you really don't want to do this.
Sure.
You know, like we really don't. What's the fucking point? Like that's kind of what I kind of drive home. What's the fucking point, dude? Like
Sure.
this is dumb. And then if they continue, I'll be like, okay, listen, like I have 16-ounce gloves in my car and I have a key to my gym. If you want to follow me, we can go to the gym and we could box there, like with some fucking gloves on. Like, cause
Okay.
like, and that's like my go-to with that because what that turns into is essentially like if you knock me out or I knock you out, you don't have to worry about somebody taking your fucking wallet. like,
Sure.
like it's just in like here it is. And so it's not me making fun of them, like going out of my way, hey, fuck that guy. It's just if they're in your face and they don't want to let it de-escalate, then it's like then I just start going. And then my mouth
Then
doesn't.
then you got to get roasted.
Yeah, it's time to get roasted.
Yeah.
Um Jim.
Yes, Kyle. I'm ready. I'm excited.
Jeez, dude. Okay. As somebody that's invested in nerd culture as you are, like as like you are like you and I would imagine we took different paths to get to our interests, but the reality of it is like we both are into fucking TCGs,
Yeah.
board games, D&D, video games, you know, the whole deal. Like I guess the one thing would be I never gave a fuck about comic books. I feel like you might be a comic book guy.
Uh-huh.
For me, it's like anime, manga, the whole deal. What was like the driving force for you of like getting into that stuff?
Okay, so there are a couple different origin arcs. There is my dad. God bless my parents. They are massive enablers.
Same.
Of
Same.
of all things passion. And it doesn't help that my dad is a huge fucking nerd. My dad played D&D from the time it was available until right now. So I grew up with the satanic books in my home. I would always look at them like
Satan's Lexicon. I get it.
yeah, he had the second edition books from his college days, and I would just read them and read them and read them and read them. And I was just like,
Go Satan.
go Satan. Yeah, hell yeah.
Hell yeah, buddy.
It's just so cool. And when I what really got me hooked was the Lord of the Rings movies. When the Fellowship of the Ring came out, my dad, both my parents are very, very reading. I was reading I started reading early.
Same.
So they just kind of enabled that, and I read so much as a kid. I wish I read
Same.
as much as I did as a kid.
Yep. I know exactly what you're saying because I feel the same exact way. I wish I read as much now as I did when I was a kid.
Yeah, for sure. I wish I had the time as well. Jesus.
That is another factor.
And my parents would we read The Hobbit together. And then they were like, Jake, they're turning these into movies. We should read the books before the movies come out. So I had to read Fellowship before we got to go see Fellowship.
Mm-hmm.
And
you had to, or
well, no, that was like the
Okay.
incentive.
Okay.
Like,
Gotcha, gotcha.
if we finish this book, we're gonna go see the movie. We're gonna go see it like real life.
Right.
Fellowship of the Ring is a very important movie to me because if I had not seen that movie, I would not be where I am right now.
Right.
I was 7 or 8 when that movie came out, and to see all of that imagery come to life as a 7 or 8-year-old who already had such an active imagination. Dude, I was swinging sticks at trees and calling them orcs as soon as I got home from the theater.
I feel that.
I
feel that.
Went wild with and I was just like, where is more of this? And like I was reading all sorts of different fantasy novels. Lord of the Rings was the most complex that I read as a kid. Because I would want to read stuff by myself, and so I was reading a lot of like the Magic Treehouse books, with Jack and Annie. They would like go they had a time traveling treehouse. It would just go back and forwards in time, and like there was another book series called the Dragon Slayers Academy.
Dude, what's crazy to me is that you remember the names of these, right? Because like, here's the thing: I've seen so many.
Yeah.
I mean, I've read so many fucking books that like, if you were to describe, and granted, like, especially when it comes to fantasy novels, there is just the trope after trope after trope that's like just so overused. It's always like, ooh, princess escapes castle with fucking common boy, or this guy's destined to be king. It's always that shit, right? But like, I read so many of these that I could not tell you the fucking name of the author.
Yeah.
I could not tell you the name of the series. Like, so many of these that like I would love to go back and see where those series went, and I don't fucking remember anything. So the fact that you remember the names is nuts.
I have an impeccable memory for things that I like. I remember so much random shit that I'll just like I was at my parents' house for dinner a couple days ago. I was like, "Hey, you remember the book about it was the Tower of London. It was called the Raven Master's Secret, and it's this like fictional version of the Tower of London and how they raised the ravens to like do shit for them, and he ended up like on a moat, and it's just really strange. No one needs to remember the Raven Master's Secret,
right?
But my mom was like, "You haven't seen that book for 15 years. What the fuck are you doing?"
Yeah, that's what I would be thinking. I'd be like, dude, what the fuck?
Why are you talking about this?
Yeah.
Because it's fucking cool. They trained the ravens to do shit. That's awesome.
Dude, yeah. I don't know. Like, that's a really interesting thing to me. That's really awesome that you remember that. Because for me, dude, I remember, so like, I always have this like really loose list of, especially like anime,
Sure.
where people will say, "What's your like top 5, top 10?" And I'm going, dude, I have anime in my top 5 that I couldn't tell you the fucking name of, but I could describe like the characters and the plot. I was like, I was just thinking of an anime. Speaking, that's not top 5. It's like 07 Ghost or some shit is like the name of it.
Okay.
And it's like, I just remember watching this going, man, this is really fucking dope. I just remember the name of it literally like 3 days ago. Had not thought about the anime in years. It was just one of those things I was like, man, there was an anime that I watched that was about this and this, and like it was that. So the fact that you keep that in there is fucking dope, because I cannot do that. I barely like my memory's shot. My memory sucks.
Yeah.
Testes, dude.
It's really useful just to like whenever my parents and I are talking about, so before I get too much further on, there are two distinct periods of my life.
Okay.
From 0 years old to 12,
Okay.
it was me, my dad, my mom, and my sister Anna. I was the first. All of my siblings are adopted.
Okay.
My mom can't have kids, so they did the next best thing and just yoinked other people's.
Or as that's why we call the stream together, you guys. This is human trafficking awareness.
Yes, I'm bringing awareness to adoption and the many perils.
Yeah.
You will become a parent. You do have to
your
care
kids-
for them.
Your kids will be yoinked.
I was adopted. And look at how I turned out. Just be aware of the dangers.
Beware the dangers.
And then
Your boy yoinking.
when I was 12, we adopted the rest of my siblings, which was 4 more. So we went from a house of 4
Mm-hmm.
to shit. Is that 8? Yes, 8. Right? Me, Dad, Mom, Anna.
Without kids, as long as my parents. Yeah, dude. Like that is such an admirable thing. Like, 100%.
I could do a whole episode about my parents.
Yeah, same. Same.
Yeah. Brene, Jay, and Lexi. Yes, that's 8 people in one tiny house that was made for 4 people. So. Oh, jeez, I can't remember where I was going with this. But.
You're saying that there is a distinct.
There's distinct like arcs of my life.
Yeah, you have a character arc, yeah.
Yeah, a lot of how I became a nerd happened in the first arc.
The first arc of Jimmy.
Before the time skip.
The origin story of Jimmy, yeah.
Yeah, the origin story.
Yeah.
So after I got, like, inundated with books and imagination,
Mm-hmm.
I turned 9 years old. And I remember how old I was because I know how old my neighbor was. And he was, like, the teenager of, like,
Mhm.
my street. He was the
Yeah.
oldest. He was so fucking cool. It was 1990, like
Yeah.
1999 to like
1999.
2003. He had his hair was like brown, and then he did blonde on the top. This kid
Dude,
was the fucking coolest,
He's out here killing it.
the
Your neighbor,
coolest
he was-
12-year-old I've ever seen.
His neighbor, Aaron Carter.
Maybe. Well, no, his name was Josh.
Josh Carter.
Josh Carter. And Josh was the coolest person in the entire world. Because
Okay.
Josh had a Super Nintendo, a Sega
Mhm.
Genesis,
Mm-hmm.
and a Game Boy Color. I had
Josh was out here doing it.
Josh's parent. I think parent. I'm
Mhm.
not sure that. I think it was just him, his sister, and his mom. I can't be sure though. But he was living life.
Yeah.
The most extravagant like stuff.
Right.
And we met because my house was adjacent to this big empty lot.
Yeah, SNES and Genesis. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, SNES and Genesis. Who the fuck had both?
Yeah, nobody.
I know
Josh is actually the coolest person I've ever heard of.
like 3 people.
Yeah, we had SNES. That was it.
Yeah, we had see, my dad's a freaking nerd. He had a Nintendo an NES, a SNES, And then for whatever reason, he worked at a hospital. He worked in like the triage center of Akron Children's Hospital. And like they gave him a Genesis. So we eventually
My favorite part about that, I just have to stop you, is how you worded that was for some reason he worked at a children's hospital. Like,
Yeah.
And I realized where you're going with that, but like the idea of you saying for some reason he worked at the children's hospital.
Yeah.
Who does that shit on purpose? We continue.
Yeah, who would do that?
Yeah.
Actually, I can go into that if you'd like. That's an arc with my dad. So we eventually had one, but we were primarily a single console home.
Mhm.
But to know somebody that could play Mario and Sonic at the same freaking time,
Yeah. Yeah.
what the heck? And
Yeah,
then
man, he's killing it.
I didn't know, because I was 9, I didn't know what a Game Boy was.
Okay.
Because I'm 9, I don't really pay attention. I can't read really well. Can't read articles. I just get what my parents give me. Right?
Right.
And when I met Josh, we lived in this, we lived in a house that was like next to a big open like field of a lot, and that's where the kids played. I know I can read at 9. That was
Keep in mind, he said he started reading early too.
Yeah, I did, and I
9
can't.
years old.
I can't read like gaming magazines.
Our boy Jimmy, our boy young Jim.
Yeah, he's doing his best.
And that's the important part.
So all the kids played in this lot, and it was fine. There wasn't like spike pits or anything like that. It's just like where we played like ball sport or like tag. There were like 10 kids in this lot, and they were all just running around screaming.
Okay. Yeah, probably because you're over there playing ball sport.
Yeah, I mean, it was all sorts of different sports, like football and
Balls flying everywhere.
kickball. Balls everywhere. Balls of all shapes and sizes were welcome.
Balls of all shapes, all sizes. Yeah, I feel that.
And color. We didn't discriminate.
Yeah. Why would you?
But one day, after we were done playing soccer,
Mm-hmm.
I remember this. Josh was like, "Hey Jake, do you know what Pokemon is?" And I was like, "Wait a minute.
Fuck me up, fam.
I kind of do." Because going to elementary school, I saw a couple, like, this was like right when the wave hit. And it hadn't gotten everywhere yet, but it was like, it was right up. It was right there.
Yeah.
I was like, "No, what is this? I kind of have an idea, but like, tell me more." He was like, "Come up to my house." Now, Josh's house was 5 houses away from me, so
Okay.
I had to ask Mom.
Right.
And I was like, "Mom, Josh has Pokemon. I don't know what that is, but I need to go know. I need to find out."
Yeah.
And she was like, "Well, I'd really like to meet his mom before you go, like, up to his house." So she walked me to Josh's house, and like it was yesterday, I remember walking up to his lawn,
Mm-hmm.
knocking on his door, him and his mom coming out, and he had a binder. He had the Pokédex binder. And he had cards.
Sounds fine. Yeah.
He had cards. This 12-year-old knew, this kid is gonna fucking love me. I'm gonna be popular. He'll worship me. And goddamn it, I did.
Yeah. Still do.
I still know him. We actually just reconnected on Facebook.
Really?
Yeah. It's insane. But that's a different story. That's adult Jameson.
Yeah.
So he gets this binder out, and he shows me the back of the card, where it's just the Pokeball. Actually, it's just fucking. I'm 26 years old. Look at what I can just randomly do. He showed me this. You can't see this, Kyle, until the delay happens.
I cannot.
He showed me this. This was the first thing I saw. And when I saw that Pokeball, that logo,
You were sold.
Oh, I was more than sold.
You were sold like a child into human trafficking.
Yes, dude.
Yeah.
I was in love. I was like, I want all of this. Oh no! I want all of it right now. Show me more.
Yeah.
So the first Pokemon card that I ever saw.
I just saw that. That's how long that delay is, by the way.
Oh, that's good. That's good. The first Pokemon card that I saw was the base set War Turtle, where he's just like in like a T pose.
You have the T posing.
I did T pose. You'll see it on the delay. And I was like,
My guy.
I was like, yes, all of it. And you know what this son of a bitch did?
Talk to me, Jim.
He sold me cards. He sold me 11 okay, so he had a bundle of cards. All rubber banded. Don't do that to your cards, by the way. Put them in sleeves.
Yep.
He had like packs that he and his friends made. And he was...
they were packing.
They were selling them for 50 cents. And I was like, Mom, Dad, I need money.
Yeah, I need these cards.
Mom, I need these.
Yeah, you don't understand. Like, this is the only thing that's going to bring me joy for a very long time.
That's when it started. That's when I took my first hit of Pokemans.
My first hit.
When I bought that first rubber banded pack of cards for 50 cents.
That was it, huh?
That's a defining moment of my entire life.
Okay.
After that, it just went downhill. My grandmother bought me a Game Boy Color that Christmas, and for god damn it, she didn't get me Pokemon Blue. I got a Scooby-Doo game. And I was like...
She's doing her best.
No! As a 26-year-old man, thank you, Grandma, I appreciate the gift.
Right.
As a 9-year-old Jake...
Yep.
This isn't Blue version, Grandma!
Yeah.
And
you're fucking up, Grams.
She didn't even get... God, I sound like such a prick.
Dude.
She got me the teal Game Boy Color when I wanted the lime green.
What the fuck, dude? What was she thinking? Your grandma just didn't give a care. It didn't give a shit about you.
Obviously not. I mean...
Yeah. I feel like that's really the only solution. Yeah.
But I'll also tell you that Scooby-Doo game is very important to me. I don't have the cart anymore, but that game is so fun. I've played it, like, I've emulated it. I'm like, it's like an adventure game where you're like trying to uncover the mystery. It's like a Scooby-Doo episode. And I'm just like, this is amazing. And then I got, at that point, my first Pokemon game was Yellow. Because it had just come out. And I was like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
It's finally time.
Yellow was the shit, dude. I remember when Yellow came out, I was so fucking hyped. Like, that was
Dude, nothing was the same after that.
Yeah. Yellow was nuts, dude.
It blew my fucking mind. And then...
Little Pikachu around.
Yeah.
I know.
And you actually had a fucking Pokemon. I did.
It followed you. You could talk to it, and it would emote at you.
You know who never fucking switched out his Pikachu? This guy right here.
Of course he did.
Right here. How can I switch him out, dude? I got yellow for a reason.
I mean, and at this point the show had started, so you're like,
Mm.
I'm Ash.
Dude.
Ash didn't switch out his Pikachu.
No, hell no.
He wanted to be the very best.
And
He
was
wanted to
awful.
be the very best, and took him 22.
He was not good. It took him a long time.
Took him 22 years to actually win anything.
Yeah. Stupid fuck. But you know what? He's out here doing it.
He's out here. So yeah,
here's the thing, though.
that's
Like,
where
this is the sidetrack. This is basic bitch conversation question, but I feel like that this needs to be asked.
okay.
Red blue starter. Who you got?
Bulbasaur.
Same. I feel like
It's-
that's such a given.
It's
But like,
it's always grass.
it's wild to me that like that is such a given for people because like at the time, like as a kid, everybody went Charmander. My brother went Squirtle, which because he's just smarter than everybody. But you
To
know,
play
as
devil's
a kid, talking to
advocate,
people, it's like, dude,
Charmander turned into a dragon.
Charizard's not a dragon type.
Fire type.
I know that,
Yeah,
but he had wings and he looked
he
fucking
did.
sick.
And as a dragon obsessed individual, it took a lot for me to not go Charmander, but yeah.
I mean, Bulbasaur was just so cute. You know?
It wasn't just about how adorable he is, because he is. Just he's the guy, man.
Plant
like,
frogs are cool. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know what to tell you.
high grass man, dude. He's out here doing it.
So yeah, that's really, those are really the like the things that.
That's, you know, it's really interesting, right? Because like that is something that you just reminded me of is my JRPG obsession. We had a neighbor that was like a lot older than us. And it, like, so we had a neighbor that was like our age, and then his older brother where he was like, fuck, I don't know, 5-6 years older than us.
Sure.
And the first time I ever played Chrono Trigger was because he let us borrow it.
Yeah.
He sold us our first Magic the Gathering cards.
Okay.
And
Oh, that's another thing.
And he let us borrow Chrono Trigger. He let us borrow Chrono Trigger. See, we had Secret of Evermore. We had Secret of Mana. No, he let us borrow Secret of Mana and Chrono Trigger. And
What a nice neighbor.
Lufia. Which to me,
Okay.
Lufia 2 Rise of the Sinistrals is the most, like, if you talk to fucking nerds,
Yeah.
like real fucking nerds that like even played Super Nintendo, I feel like Lufia 2 Rise of the Sinistrals is one of those games that never gets fucking brought up, but is like
Yes.
one of the greatest RPGs to ever fucking exist. And the fact that like it's never brought up just
A lot
is
of people.
unreal to me.
It's one of those things that a lot of people won't bring it up as like a conversation starter, or like in like the
Well, even whenever I bring it up, it's almost like they've never fucking heard of it. And it's like, dude, like this game was just
Well,
like it was
I
fucking game changer.
I actually experienced the opposite, where I would bring it up and people were like, "You know that game? What?"
You know, that's
talk about it.
Like, no, that's not, but like for me, it was like I would bring it up, and people like didn't fucking know it.
Okay,
Lufia 2,
Never heard of it.
see?
this is why he's not. This is why he doesn't get a microphone.
This is what John was gonna microphone.
This is why I'm like not even shot. My arm.
Is this your arm, bud?
He's actually cropped out.
So my Chrono SNES card and box separately. Jesus, dude. God, dude. Yeah, I still have. I mean, guys, listen, we could fucking nerd out right now. I could go grab my Super Nintendo collection
I
that I still have that I haven't got rid of. The ones I haven't got rid of, but we'll save that for another time.
hold on. I'm scooting away because I see it and it's within arm's distance. I am.
Mine is not.
This is a rare thing. I have never seen one in like with my own eyes besides this one.
Jesus.
This is one of my most prized possessions of all time.
Mm-hmm.
Just wait for the delay.
Jimmy, I'll be back.
Oh. Rob, do you mean of Chrono Trigger? Oh yeah, of course. That's what you're talking about. Okay. I have the DS version of Chrono Trigger as well. It's fairly great. It's insane that some of those like classic SNES games you can sell the box for more than $2. I love it. I hope he's bringing us something awesome. Like maybe a complete inbox of Chrono Trigger, or maybe something. I don't know. Oh, it's a cart. Okay,
So cool for you.
carts are still cool. Oh!
I'm still silent.
Never.
What?
Yeah. Yep.
I had it once. He held up. It was the Earthbound
I got
SNES
you,
cart. You just hold. If you could just hold that up again, Kyle. Oh God. If there was anything in this world,
it still plays, my brother.
God, that's awesome. I had it once. I was around that 9 or 10 age,
Mm-hmm.
and I sold it for like a yard sale.
How much is it worth now?
Hundreds of dollars.
Yeah.
I just looked. Cause I was like, well, now it's I have a job. I have a decent paying job. Maybe I can like get it. No.
Mhm.
No, I can't.
Yeah. I have Earthbound. I have 2 copies of Chrono Trigger. I have every.
Hey Kyle, it's me, your best friend, Jim.
I have every Super Nintendo Final Fantasy. I have.
Hey, it's me, Cecil. Hi.
Yeah. Breath of Fire 1, 2, 3, 4, Dragon Quarter.
Okay. All right.
Like, yeah, when it comes to like old school JRPGs, dude, like I got them all. I have 4 copies of Legend of Dragoon.
Hey Kyle, if you want to just DM me your address and I'll be
Yeah.
there. I'll house sit for you. Oh wait, there's
That'd
a
be-
fire. Everything's gone.
Yeah, crazy.
Yes, that Earthbound gets insane. It just
Dude, it really
gets
does.
crazy.
It really fucking does.
So, okay. So we've got my like childhood origin
Yeah.
of nerddom.
Mm-hmm.
What did you ever go through a phase where like before your reacceptance of nerd culture where you were like, I'm done with
What
this?
do you mean? No.
You never quit?
I've never dropped off of being a nerd.
I
Never once. It's I remember. This is so weird. It's so weird that I remember this. So it's like I didn't really have friends outside of school, right? So like for me, it was go to school, go home, do homework, go to baseball practice. Like that's what it was.
sure.
And that's all it was. So the only friends that I really had at school were like nerdy kids that played video games and shit. And I'll do you one better from a gatekeeping aspect. Like I was such a gatekeeper of nerddom because like I grew up on JRPGs
Uh-huh.
and fucking RTSs and turn-based strategy and all that. That like I thought, and it's weird because when I was 12, I think I was playing like Rogue Spear, like Tom Clancy shit like that. I thought of like kids that were playing Halo and all that shit, Call of Duty, as like you're
Oh,
not real fucking nerds. Like you
dude.
guys are just like I had that fucking full gatekeeper experience. Like you guys are actually fucking nerds.
Well,
So
in my experience, those kids were the kids that were making fun of me for bringing my
yes,
Game Boy to
yeah.
school.
Yeah, those are the kids that were making fun of me for bringing a fucking Diablo 2 strategy like booklet to school. So that's funny you say that because I think that's what it just came down to. It's like, dude, like you guys were literally just like giving me shit.
Yeah, and
now you want to be best friend. Now that you play Smash Brothers, you want to fucking be friends.
oh, don't even get me started. Oh God.
Yeah, so there was that aspect to it, right?
Yeah.
And so there's that. So fuck, where's I going with this? Where the fuck was I going with this from like being a nerd? I remember this. I remember being in high school and there was one kid. There's like one fucking kid in my weightlifting class that like I was friends with that was like a nerd. And I remember when Golden Sun came out. I think it was Golden Sun, right?
The nerd culture shift was so weird.
Yeah. When Golden Sun came out, and this kid was so obsessed with Golden Sun, like, dude, you play Golden Sun? Holy fuck, this game's unreal, blah, blah, blah. I was like, yeah, man, hell yeah, we're like friends, and this is so cool. And this kid, like, maybe like next year, I was talking to him about video games and shit like that.
Yeah.
And then, like, literally next year, it's like, oh no, man, I don't do those anymore. I don't play that anymore, or some shit like that. And like it was just the weirdest fucking turn. I was like, man, I was like the only real person I talked about video games now is like telling me that like they don't think video games are cool now.
Yeah.
So it was this really strange it was just this really strange moment for me of like, am I not supposed to like these things now? But like I was like, I literally remember telling this kid basically, I don't think there will ever be a time where I'm gonna feel the way that you. And I still don't. I don't play video games now, and I'm not ashamed of video games. There's no drop off of nerd culture. I'm just as excited about video games as I fucking used to be.
Yeah.
However, the reality of it is with me trying to do what I'm doing in my life, I understand how obsessed I get over video games.
Yeah.
And I can't. Like, I literally can't play video games and be productive at the same time. So,
I don't know if you're familiar with it. A lot of it is stigmatized by Michael Jackson. It's Peter Pan syndrome, where you're just like you don't want to grow up.
Yeah. I feel that. I very much feel that.
I have that. Lots of it. And yeah. I never. So, Pokemon was always such a big thing in my life. It's one of my favorite series of all time. There was a point after Ruby and Sapphire came out, like in that break between 2004 and 2007, where nothing happened in the series. Because that was the like break between the Game Boy Advance and DS. Like I fell off. And I was like, well, maybe I'm done with like doing this like video game stuff and stuff like that. But for whatever reason, I never stopped. It just went on to like other stuff. I started playing Brood War we'd finally gotten a computer that could like play games. And my uncle was another person like my dad. He is a computer nerd. So he had StarCraft 1, he had the Warcraft games, and I would go to his
same.
house and I'd play PC games. And I'd be like, "Wait a minute. This is like grown-up stuff. This isn't
Yeah, like adults played PC games.
yeah,
And like I'll tag onto that to say like you want to like I was talking to somebody about this and I had like it was such like this embarrassing moment. So like I went on a date the other day
okay.
and I'm talking to this girl and she's like I don't want to say nerdy. I don't mean it like that, but like she's definitely like college like what's that word? What like other than I don't say educated, but like basically like an academic, right? Because like
Yeah.
I'm not an academic. As much of a nerd as I am, I'm not an academic.
Sure.
And I'm transparent about shit. And we were talking like we were basically talking about this shit. And I've always it's the same thing that I've always said. Like I always feel like my strong suit when it comes to music is like lyrics. Like I always feel like I write good lyrics. Like
Yeah.
they're not fucking corny. They're well thought out. There's a lot of really cool stuff in there.
Sure.
And I went on this tangent, this transparency tangent, because once again, I'm transparent. I have no
course.
shame. And she was like, "Why do you think you're good at that?" And I was like, straight up, because my nerd fucking self growing up was writing fucking role playing stories on fucking forums.
Yeah.
Like doing like little fucking fantasy, like high fantasy role playing short stories with other fucking people. But like I'm 12 or 13 years old. These are people in college.
Yeah.
So like they're straight up like they're critiquing my writing style, the whole thing. So like from like 12 years old, I'm essentially getting fucking
college level advice.
Yeah, college level like constructive criticism.
Yeah.
And I thought that was such an interesting thing. I forgot what made me say that just now. You said something that really fucking made me go on that tangent, and I was gonna say something, but I'm gonna go back to what I know I was thinking, and it's essentially PC games. It was like that's like adult.
That's what grown-ups did.
Yeah, and so like it was when I was like doing that, like playing Diablo 2, and it's like apparent that like pretty much everybody like when I'm talking to people in Ultima Online, it's very apparent that they're not teenagers. They're 30-year-old dudes.
Yeah.
like
yeah.
Just it was that, and so like that was like a culture that raised me, I guess.
Yeah, and that was the first, like, okay, when I say this, I exclude my parents, because they've never, except when I was like, I guess we can talk about this later,
Yeah.
except when I was 16, and I was convinced that I was going to become a StarCraft 2 professional gamer.
Right, of course.
My parents have always encouraged me. They have always. What is?
How do you keep a resume as a single page?
You don't.
Well, you can.
I mean, there's templates, I guess.
Yeah, there's templates for it.
Make your font smaller. Man, I haven't had to do a resume in forever. I've had a job for 4 years. So my parents were always very supportive. So like, I never had to like, Jake, it's time to grow up and put away your video games.
Yeah.
They were like, I mean, you're not getting into trouble. Just stop replacing Golduck with Goldfuck, please. It's embarrassing us.
Quick renaming Yang to Wang on Final Fantasy IV.
Don't name your rival bad words. Like, dude, I remember. Okay, tangent real quick. I had a box in Pokemon full of bad words that I would like name like a Meowth Dick. which doesn't make any sense. Why didn't you just call it pussy?
You didn't think about that. Yeah.
I first off, I'm not that vulgar, but like,
Yeah.
fuck.
Yeah.
There were
it's
so
two
many
right there.
There were so
two
many
nail on the
shits,
head, you know what I'm saying?
everything like that. But there were where I was going with that is like the people that I met playing PC games were obviously, like you said, I'm not like I'm in a chat room with a bunch of 30-year-olds, like as a 13-year-old, because that'd be
Right.
kind of strange. But they
I mean,
were,
that was me.
Well-
but like I wasn't like, hey, I'm a 12-year-old.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Hi, I'm
that's
12.
Yeah, that's not what was happening. Like,
Yeah.
you could tell that they were older, and you could tell that they weren't embarrassed. Like as the stigma to stop playing games became more and more prevalent as I got older, this group of people was like, no, just like what you like.
Yeah.
And I didn't have that except for my parents. And like,
Right.
this guy has a job. He gets money. And he's saying games are cool. And like, play all the StarCraft you want. Oh my gosh. Like, it was just insane.
Yeah.
Cause
I
that's where it felt like all those PC games, I felt helped me a lot with feeling okay with being a nerd and being accepted by like my peers and stuff like that.
Right.
Because when I would like hand out my BattleNet in middle school, people were like, "Oh shit, you got a BattleNet? You got BattleNet?"
Yeah. See, I kids in my school didn't know what the fuck that was.
I had
And like,
there was and I'm not saying like I was handing my BattleNet account out to like the popular kids. There was the PC nerds.
see, I didn't have PC nerds in my school. Like I put it this way, like you know Jeff, right? Like really good at first person shooters, Jeff.
Yeah.
So Jeff was like, when I would talk to people about like Rainbow Six 3, Raven Shield, everyone's like, dude, you know Jeff plays like competitively. I'm like, yeah, I play competitively too. And like we just like I was like, yeah, blah blah blah. He played on console.
Okay.
And I played on PC. So it's like I was literally like the only PC gamer that I fucking know in my school.
Did
And
you?
like everybody else, like all these console kids. I was like, dude, and of course, like I looked down on them, you know.
Sure. I had, speaking about that like console versus PC shooter experience. My best friend in the entire world is a god at Halo. When he was younger, he would play in these lobbies with probably not actually on FaZe Clan, that just had like the FaZe Clan tag in their name. But like they were pretty good from what I knew as like a 14-year-old. But he wouldn't play on PC. He wouldn't like play Doom or anything. And I was like, but it's good. You know, just
yeah, there's this really interesting. So like I have friends now that like literally like my buddy Nick is like, he is so obsessed when it comes to World of Warcraft. Like he's been playing for years, and like whenever we were 17, like I would like, yeah, I guess we were both 17. He would essentially shit talk.
okay.
He would essentially like shit talk like PC games because he was just that kid. Like he didn't know any better, right? So he didn't know what the fucking MMO was. He just played Halo and Call of Duty. But he was a nerd. He did grow up being a fucking nerd. He just didn't know that world existed.
Sure.
And just it was one. It's such an interesting thing. Of I got him into WoW, and he had like a 56K modem, like full on, like not even AOL. I don't even think it was AOL. It was something like worse than America Online. It was this fucking just weird fucking thing. And he played World of Warcraft on like 300 ping. Like this is classic. Like classic WoW
Uh-huh.
on like 300 fucking ping. Just nuts. Like the fact that he did that, it's like, dude, there's no way that I could fucking do that.
Sure.
And to this day, he has like the biggest fucking World of Warcraft obsession. It's just insane.
Yeah.
But it's just funny that like, I don't know, like people, I don't want to say don't know, but like, it was just this interesting dynamic of like how PC games shifted to being the thing. I mean, dude, like shit, if you want me to fucking go, and it's like, and of course everybody has those moments, right? Because you don't really know. Like there's a reason why you're
Mhm.
not doing what you said. Like when people look back and they go, oh well, I could have been doing that. Like I remember when League streamers were streaming on what the fuck was it called? It was
Azubu?
before, no, it was before Azubu. Twitch was still called Justin TV. It was what the fuck was it? It's like when Hotshot and Saint Vicious and all those guys were like the top League streamers, and like had like we hopped on that fucking train then, man. But like even then, we weren't good enough to be at that
Oh, of course
fucking
not.
level, you know?
Yeah.
It's kind of like when everybody talks about the fucking when everybody talks about what's the word I'm looking for? Like the YouTubers that got like really popular, and it's
Yeah.
like, well, yeah, that's because like they invested at a time when nobody else
Yeah.
did. Like they straight up, like they invested thousands upon thousands of dollars into their fucking camera setups, did the whole fucking all that. Like
People
they were
had to
doing it.
buy encoding software, and that shit was expensive.
Yeah. Yeah, and then it's like, oh, I could be just like that if I had the fucking what is it like? I forget what they call it, settlers' rights or whatever it is, frontiers' rights or just whatever the fuck it is. Squatters' rights, is that what it is?
I don't think that's what that is.
I don't think that's what it is at all.
Well, if you don't mind,
Yeah, bro.
kind of want to, move a bit forward into our lives.
Okay.
You are
Mhm.
currently
Mhm.
on a musical journey. You're in a
Uh-huh.
band. You sing in the
Uh-huh.
band.
I do.
But this isn't your first rodeo.
Oh, good God. Uh-huh.
I'm curious. What was your do you remember the moment where you're like, "Oh shit. I want to play music."
I didn't start playing music until I was 17 years old.
Okay.
I didn't pick up my first instrument until I was 17.
If you want a lighthearted story while you think, I have the moment where I started playing music.
Okay, bring it.
A little game called Guitar Hero 2 came out for the PlayStation 2.
Mm-hmm.
I was in 8th grade,
Mm-hmm.
and I had just moved to Pennsylvania, so I was trying to make friends.
Mm-hmm.
On this bus was... Okay, so this is strange. I had never seen a guy with long hair before.
Okay.
Like where I lived in Ohio before that, it was pretty K-Kona. So,
Okay.
so there wasn't a lot of below the ear hair for
Right.
men's fashion.
Right.
So I see this kid get on the bus. His hair is like down to his back. I'm like, that's a girl.
Lady.
That's a lady. I find out that it's
Mm-hmm.
He's a-
And it's in fact not a lady.
he's a young boy. It's a
Mhm.
young boy with long hair.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how. I didn't know that was a thing. I didn't know you could opt for that.
Yeah. You can't
Um,
just go be a lady boy.
You
That's
can't.
Not at that time.
That's a red Joy-Con. and he was a person. We rode the same bus. We lived in the same development. So I was like, I need friends, or I'm going to die.
I still feel that way.
So we start talking because, like everything in my teenage years, my mom talked to his mom.
Mm-hmm.
And he was taking guitar lessons, and I was like,
Yep.
"Whoa, you're cool." And he showed me Guitar Hero.
Okay.
I was like, okay, I
This is it.
can dig with this. I played Guitar Hero for 2 weeks,
Mm-hmm.
and then I begged my mom, Mom and Dad, I need to play guitar. I need to get a guitar. I need to take guitar lessons. I'm gonna be a fucking rock star, Mom and Dad.
Mm-hmm.
They obliged. I come
And
home
that's
from
how we
s-
get, and that's how we got here.
I come home from school one day. They tell me to go clean my room. I throw a fit, but I go upstairs,
Mm.
open my door. My room is clean.
There's a guitar in there.
In the corner, there is a guitar on a stand with an amp next to it. It was a Les Paul Jr.
Okay.
It was an Epiphone Les Paul Jr. and some weird Epiphone amp. And I was like, it's fucking time!
It is Jim's time to shine.
It's Jim's time.
It's
So
Jim time.
I started playing guitar. That's how I started. I started
Okay.
drumming when I was 20. What was 5 years ago? 21. I got my
Mhm.
first kit. After years and years and years of like, wait, no, drumming is actually what I want to do. So yeah, that's how I started. Guitar Hero 2. Some more NA math. That's not NA math. 5 years ago, I was 21.
Yeah.
Tell us, Kyle, how does a rock star become a rock star?
Oh my god. So when I quit baseball, I basically quit baseball because I never hit a growth spurt. I was like barely. I think I was like 105 pounds, if that, when I was 18 years old. Just to throw that out there. Never hit a growth spurt. I had problems like with my coaches and shit like that because basically they were playing. It was one of those things of like there were kids on the fucking high school team that had no business playing fucking baseball,
Okay.
but they were the football players, basketball players. So they're like physically more imposing than me. They're more athletic in the sense of like they can hit farther than me, they can fucking throw harder than me, whatever. Because they're bigger. I was just a little dude. But like every team I played baseball for, like every year I had the highest on base percentage of any player on the
Okay.
roster. And I was basically being punished because I was small.
Okay.
They would like I'll never forget. It's like they fucking put a kid at third base when I played high school. That like I think his batting average was like 186 at the end of the year, and his like fielding percentage was just garbage. Like I almost said his name. Like that's how much I fucking wrote. So naturally, I just started to develop a bad attitude towards my coaches because it was like, dude, it doesn't matter how much better than these kids are. Like, you're not gonna fucking play me because I'm not bigger.
Sure.
I if you put me in, I'll get on base. Like I can get on base. Like I put me at second base, put me at shortstop, put me at third base. It doesn't fucking matter. Just put me anywhere in the infield, and we're good. My fielding percentage is good.
Mm-hmm.
So, long story short, I ended up stopping playing baseball. And my parents were building a house in the middle of nowhere. Like the middle of fucking nowhere. And it's a place called Wearsdale, which is over by Ocala.
Okay.
And I was 17 years old, so this is around the time that a certain group called A Day to Remember was doing their thing. They were on the up and coming. And I lived out that way, and I started playing guitar. I played guitar before that, but like realistically, I dabbled on guitar while I played Final Fantasy 11. I really didn't play.
Sure.
Then whenever I moved to Wearsdale, we lived in an RV with no internet for a year.
Okay.
A whole fucking year without internet. And so like my brother would LAN. My
What-
brother and I
what
would
year was
LAN
this?
Diablo 2. This is 2004.
Okay.
Started playing guitar in 2004. And 6 months later, because all I didn't play baseball anymore. I went home and I played guitar, and that was it. Like I did homework, I played guitar, and that was it. And 6 months later, like I would just like play guitar, invite people over. Like I didn't invite people over, so I wasn't like allowed to. There's this kind of like this weird moment here where like I started like rebelling against my parents. It was just kind of like, look, I'm just gonna go play music with people, and this is the whole fucking deal around. But
Sure.
I started like actually leaving my house. I like kind of suffered the consequences like that. But what's interesting is I'd play guitar in front of people. Like, God damn, dude, how long you been playing guitar? Like 4 years, 5 years? I'm like, oh, like 5 months. But like the difference is like I didn't have anything else to do. So it's like if you look at hours, I was playing guitar from 3 p.m. to 2 a.m.
Okay.
So I was like playing guitar like 11 hours a day for a year straight. So I did that.
You might get some
Right.
skills.
Yeah. So in that time, I started this really shitty death metal band.
What
This
was
will
it called?
remain unnamed.
Oh,
I still want that
And-
YouTube video.
I know you do. They're out there too. So I started this death metal project, and then I was like writing lyrics, like writing the songs, playing guitar. After that, like it was like okay, I started like playing with like pop punk bands and just going through all this shit. And then like a little while later is whenever I started the band before this one. And that during that time, I started screaming and singing, but mainly screaming. I really didn't like. I honestly, I'm gonna be real. When I was in that band, in the first year, 2 years of that band, I did not know how to sing. I did, but I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. I was just yelling on pitch. Essentially, it was not good. If you go to like those early recordings of like Broner and shit like that, like that's not singing. That's just some kid yelling. And
Sure.
So I was doing that, and yeah, that's how I got into it. Just decided that I wanted to start singing, and then I got a vocal coach, and she basically told me, if you keep screaming, you're not going to sing as well. So would you rather scream well or sing well? And I was like, well, I think I'd rather have a pretty voice than be really good at screaming. So I just focused on singing, and that was really it. Yeah.
All right. All right. I want to talk about, if you'll indulge me,
Yeah, dude, what's up?
I want to talk about what you got going on now.
Okay.
Because there are a couple questions that I have that
Okay.
I'm not sure that we've ever talked about.
All right.
You are in a band.
Yeah.
They're called Our Sorrows. You can find them on
Yep.
YouTube, Spotify, and Instagram
Instagram,
And
Twitter, Facebook,
and Facebook.
Google Play.
Go ahead.
Google Play Music, Apple Music, iTunes.
All right. Hey,
probably
hey
gonna say
now.
Google Plus.
Stop using my platform to promote your brand. I'm very, like, as a friend, super proud of what you guys are doing.
Thank you.
How did when you decided, hey, we're gonna do this now?
Well,
What's the, how do you go from Mayday to
mhm.
now? Because what you've got going on now is straight
Uh-huh.
fire. Like, and you know, I get really excited just for the
Mhm.
stream. I get very excited about when my friends do cool shit. I have a very hard time about being objective, especially to Kyle's
That-
music, because
That's the truth.
it's very good, and I just get really excited. So it's hard for me to like take a step back and like remove that he's a very good friend of mine, and I want him to succeed, and it's just fire. Okay, I'm getting like excited just
I'll take it. I mean, I like, and obviously, like, as somebody that like writes it, like, because
Yeah.
Chris and I write this shit together.
Yeah.
Of course, I think it's fire. Like, and like, I think you'd be stupid to say like, oh, what we do is not really good. And it's like, I'm not gonna sit here and say this is the greatest music that's ever been introduced. It's not like I'm not saying that, but it's good. And I have, and there's also kind of the confirmation bias too of like some of like the bigger bands that we've been around. Like whenever we were recording, we were recording like in the same street, like across the hallway from a really big band. You could, if you know them, you could figure it out. Just go to our Instagram. They're in some of our videos. But there's some of our studio vlogs. But those guys had nothing but great fucking things to say about us. And like I still talk to some of them. Super cool guys, man. Like just in hearing compliments from them. And I'm not saying they're not like going like, oh my god, it's not. They're not doing that. I'm
Yeah.
not saying that. But like, you know, just
Well,
hearing
in some
basically
ways, you're like your peers are like cheering you
Yeah,
on,
yeah, and
even though
like,
they're at
they've
a
made
different
it.
stage in their journey, band wise.
Yeah, they've made it, they've done it, and to hear them say like really positive things is like
Yeah.
cool. Like, so it's kind of that affirmation of like there's a level of like, and obviously for me is like, as somebody that writes, I like constructive criticism, and it's hard to just deal with the fact that some people just don't like your stuff. Like
Yeah.
they're just not. It's just not going to be their taste, and that's fair, and that's fine.
Sure.
And I'm learning that. But it's really cool to also kind of have that fallback of like, well, it's fine that you don't like it because these guys do, and
Yeah.
they're it, you know. So that's a pretty cool fallback. That's a pretty cool fallback to go to. Yeah, they did just release a Fire Ash track. But yeah, so let me see. What was the question? Because I just started going on this tangent. for
Well,
this.
well, how do
get
you?
from Mayday to where?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Long story short, because your boy's running out of caffeine, and I'm gonna need to go to Starbucks before they close.
Sure. Do you have
I
about
don't-
13 more minutes so we can like round it out?
Yeah, absolutely. Because I don't think this girl's coming over. So like I had plans. I had like plans for tonight.
Yeah.
But like,
I was looking at the time and I was like, wait,
Yeah.
we're kind of
No, I think-
encroaching on that time.
No, we're good. I think it fell through. So I'm just gonna go to Starbucks instead. But yeah, long story short, uncaffeinated brain sinking in. Chris and I knew each other through playing Magic the Gathering and like board games and D&D and shit like that. And there was this kind of casual, like, I think anybody that's played music at like a semi-professional level has run into that to where, and it's no offense to like hobby, like it sounds fucked up to say hobbyist musicians because it's not like that, but like there's a difference between like, hey, I'm trying to make a living doing this, and
You're a bit more than a couple of guys in a garage.
Yeah, like I pick up my guitar every like 15 minutes every 2 weeks and dabble on the same two songs. Like there's a difference. And so like we've all run into those guys that are like, dude, we should jam sometime. I hear you're a musician, and then you get there and you play music with them and you go, okay, so this is a waste of my time. Like we're not on the same wavelength. And I think that you even run into that with other good musicians where you go, dude, there's a killer. I won't say his name, but like in my area, there's this kid that like him and I are friends. He comes over from time to time to hang out. Beautiful fucking voice. Like the dude has just open throat, just very deep bassy fucking like he plays like ukulele.
Okay.
It's very soothing, folky style voice. Like just this indie folk guy. It's an incredible fucking musician. We really don't jam together. even when he comes over to hang out, because like we just don't play the same thing. We're not
Sure.
there. But like he's so fucking talented, and I mean I should just text him earlier. I was like, "Yo, do you have any shows coming up?" Because I just want to go see him because fantastic musician. But like we can't write together, we can't really jam together because we just don't play the same shit. Um, so there's that too. So Chris and I meet each other playing video games, board games, and for literally 2 fucking years. Oh, you play music? Cool, yeah, me too. But it's that kind of like whatever, bud, because like I've been here before. Like
Sure.
you probably just fucking dabble. And then one day, like we just started talking about music. So then we ended up doing the fucking music review show. Dia Dwak.
Diadoc.
And then during that, like I kind of had this like through that time frame, I was like really dejected about music before that, and
Sure.
because like the Mayday shit didn't work. What's going on, man? The Mayday shit didn't succeed, so I was like really butthurt about that. And it was this kind of like every time music like there was like a real heartbreaking thing during that time for me because with all the things that people said to me while like Mayday was a thing, like other musicians and other touring bands and
Sure.
all that, I had this idea in my head that if I stop carrying the weight for us and this band falls apart, I'll get an offer from somebody else to sing in their band or front their band or whatever.
Sure.
Never came. So it kind of sent me in this like little spiral of like, fuck. Like I guess I'm not that good. I guess I just wasn't good enough.
Yeah.
And like when it came to like writing music or even playing it, it just didn't feel good to do. It was this really like just depressing feeling. And then for those of you that don't know, I ended up in like I was in this like 5 year long relationship, and it wasn't good for either one of us. And like I mean, I had no problems with her. Like I've never had a problem with her. I like at all, but like we don't talk. It's just one of those things. But for me, it just specifically that relationship was not good for me. I wasn't motivated. I was out of shape. I had no drive. I was working like minimum wage jobs. Blah blah blah. And I wasn't trying to succeed. And then it just kind of a switch kind of flipped as I got out of that relationship, and I went, dude, you know what? Like I'm just gonna do what I like what I want to fucking like. I'm gonna challenge myself. I'm gonna build myself, and I'm gonna do things that I want to do. And I was just really reminded that I wanted to do music.
For the podcast record, that is what I coined as self-improvement Kyle or positivity Kyle.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And so positivity, self-improvement Kyle came around, and Chris and I started the power metal band. Because realistically, like, and I was texting my brother about this today. This is not a joke. Like I will joke about things, but there's times where like I'm not joking. I sat in my bathroom this morning. My brother sent me a text last night.
Big mood. Yep.
My brother sent me a text last night of Demons and Wizards, which is like one of my favorite. It's like my favorite power group, like my favorite super group of all time.
Your brother.
I really am though. Like that's not just.
He really is. He really is.
God bless you guys. So, he sent me this version of Demons and Lizards playing "I Died for You" by Iced Earth, and then Matt Barlow, the second singer of Iced Earth, which is like my favorite singer of all time, doing guest vocals. And I was sitting in my bathroom this morning, listening to this, fucking crying. Like I'm bawling my eyes out. I'm not kidding. I like that. Like I'm not fucking kidding. Like I like listening to Hansi Kirsch like sing that song, and then Matt Barlow sing that song, and then them sing it together. I'm getting fucking emotional right now. Like God damn. Like those are my favorite. Like those are two of my favorite singers. The song's just beautiful, and like it's yeah. So I started doing power metal, and like I just reminded that's what I grew up on. I grew up on fucking 80s hair metal and power metal, and like that's what like shit. When I first started singing, I was singing to Nightwish. I was singing like Nightwish, Within Temptation, Lacuna Coil, like Theater of Tragedy, just Sonata Arctica. So all these like high fucking singers. And that's why I attribute a lot of like my range to is like I just grew up like singing that shit whenever I was singing. And yeah, so then we're doing power metal, we're kind of doing these covers, and then I started like I went on like this is like single self-improvement Kyle, and I'm on Tinder one day and there's this like metalhead chick on there. And like almost immediately this girl's like, "Hey, do you want to go get drinks?" And I was like she's like, "Do you want to go get drinks sometime?" I'm like, "Sure." And it wasn't like for me, it was just like, yo, like I've never done this because like Tinder was like a new thing for me because like I was in a relationship for 5 years.
Uh-huh.
And so in my mind, I'm like, I don't know what that means. Like, is that like what? But fuck it. Like, I need to get out of the house. I need to meet people.
Yeah.
And so I go on and get drinks with this girl, and then um, she's like, no, she's like, there's this not Silent Planet. She wanted to see I think Kubla Khan or something like that.
Okay.
And she wanted to see it's like Kubla Khan or Silent Planet or something like that. And so we go to that, and Chris was with me.
Your brother Chris or Stevenson?
Chris Stevenson.
Okay.
And we do a Did Walk stream from the Silent
Oh, I remember that.
Planet. That was the day.
Is that where our sorrows came from?
Yes.
Oh my gosh!
On the drive home, Chris and I looked at each other.
way!
The drive home, Chris and I looked at each other and went, "What the fuck are we doing with power metal?" Because like, as much as we like it, like we both have backgrounds in like post-hardcore, metalcore, blah blah blah. Let's fucking do that. And
Oh my
and
god, that's
if you,
awesome!
if you find the date of that a week later or 3 days after that is when Vulture was written.
Are you serious?
100%.
Oh my god!
Let me see. I'll tell you the exact date. So Silent Planet, Kubla Khan, Straight from the Path, Orlando. I think it's at the Abbey, 2018. So November
I remember.
November 12th was when Vulture was written.
I remember that. Oh my god! I watched that stream.
Yeah.
Oh my
Yeah,
god!
that was the day that we started it.
That's awesome.
And that was the first time that like we like wrote together, and it was such a cool thing because that was when I found out just how good Chris is, and I think he found out
he's
like
so
the
sick.
level. He really is, dude. Like he's so talented. That was the day that we both found out the level that we were each other were at.
Well,
Because
I think it's really
he's
cool.
finishing.
I'm
Go ahead.
I'm sorry. No, you go ahead. You go ahead.
I was just gonna say, so he's finishing the song, like he's finishing Vulture out the music, and like I was just sitting there listening to it, and like I'm a weirdo when it comes to writing lyrics and like writing. I sound like a crazy person when I talk about writing music because like I believe it's so fucking corny and so cheesy, but I believe what I say, and I kind of take it as like I feel like this is gonna sound so fucking corny saying this. I don't write lyrics. Like I don't write the lyrics. The lyrics like come to me.
Sure.
And like I literally have a phrase that I repeat when I'm listening to music for a song, and I will literally just sit there and ask like the music, like, okay, what are we like? What are you like? What do you want to say? Like what are you telling me? Like what are you about? Who are you? That sounds so fucking cheesy, but that's really what I feel.
Sure.
And I feel like that shit comes out really well like that. So I'm literally sitting here thinking this. He's finishing out the song, and I'm like as he's writing it, as he's playing it over and over, and I'm like, who are you? Like what are you supposed to be about? And I'm trying to figure it out, and I had nothing. And we get to like the last like breakdown where we decide we're gonna do like the group vocals and shit. And I was like, what is this song about, Chris? And he's like, well, I kind of have some lyrics already. And it's like, it's about like this, and I'm not gonna say what it's about because like I don't believe in telling people what songs are about. I think you can like it'll mean something different to everybody. And I read them and I went, "Are you married to these?" And he goes, "No, I just want the idea." I went, "Great." And I just deleted all the lyrics. And I just went. And before he finished the group vocal, and and I'm not fucking kidding. Like, and I could find like if I could find the girl that I was talking to at the time, if I could find that Instagram message, like I have the exact words as I'm writing it. It took me a minute and 15 seconds to write the lyrics for that song.
The whole thing.
Like the whole thing. Like I had heard it so much, and once he told me what it was about, I literally just went, and I just like it took like a minute 15 to 2 minutes to write the lyrics for that song, and I showed Chris, and like before I showed Chris, he finishes up like the Greek vocal part, and he turns to me and he goes, it's like, yeah, so we can kind of figure it out, and I was like, done, and he's like, what? And I was like, yeah. He goes, well, we could kind of, and he starts reading the lyrics, and he goes, no, these are good. And there was a section where I went, I'm not sure about this part though. And he goes, well, how about this? And we kind of went back and forth on a couple of things,
Sure.
and kind of like worked it out. But like that, I think that ended up being the lyrics that we took out whenever we like reshaped the song.
Sure.
But it was just such a cool experience where it went from let me write these lyrics with you to him basically getting in my car for every other song and going like, all right, so what are you thinking? And like I just have my fucking lyrics ready and I'm going over the syncopation, I'm going over the vocal modes and shit, and then like we go back and forth and like
Sure.
we fucking just decide what we want to say. And you know, because like he very much has a say. He has as much of a say in what we're saying as I do, and like I have just as much of a say as how we sound as he does. But primarily he's writing the music and I'm writing the fucking lyrics and
Okay.
vocal modes. So it's just awesome because there's this like the way I describe it is like it's almost like we're writing each other's parts. So we already have to be a fan of what we're doing.
Sure.
So I've shown him vocal melodies, or I'm not vocal melodies, but I've shown him like syncopation and lyrics where he just went and just went, no, I'm not for that. And I'm like, oh really? He's like, no, I don't like that. Or he's like, or I could do it this way. And then he's shown like he's been writing stuff, and I've just gone, I don't like that riff. Let's do something different. Or I'm thinking this instead. So it's like we both have this like
How long
we're
does
allowed.
as you were writing the album, how
Yeah.
long was it? How long did it take you guys to like to sync up on these ideas? Like for every
it
other like
took-
song or whatever.
Yeah, it took the album took as long to write as it did because literally we were hanging out once a day, like once a week.
Sure.
So there was like just gaps of time where like we could have got it done faster. But I couldn't tell you how long it fucking took. I mean, I could go back through Discord and like look at the time frame of everything.
Well, like, what was the? Well, like, when you do you have an idea of like what that back and forth was like? Because
What do you mean?
you two as individuals, I think, are pretty good. Like, you're a good unit. You're a good team.
Mhm.
I think that a lot of the stuff that I've heard, is like objectively fire. And I know it's
I keep talking. I'm gonna piss. I'm listening.
okay. All right. Well, whenever you get back, there's a man on the floor. What is happening?
There's a man on the floor.
There's a man on the floor. Where?
Alright.
I have my friend John, you guys.
Okay, this is Kyle's.
You know me as Kumquat Joe.
Oh, it's Kumquat Joe. Kumquat Joe
I'm gonna
is
go back on the floor now,
is
where I
a
belong.
legend.
See you later.
Bye, Kumquat Joe. He's a legend on the Discord. SCP, welcome. Welcome to the first episode of Real Jimmy Hours, our new, hopefully weekly.
This is real Jimmy Hours.
It's Real Jimmy.
Real Jimmy Hours.
Real Jimmy Hours.
So what was the question? Your boy is still pissed at You're laughing, but I need to know.
When you when you oh god, did you wash your hands?
No.
All
I
right.
didn't touch my dick though.
Okay, that's fair. Then it's not gay.
Yeah.
Okay. What the actual question is that I'm trying to ask is, did it feel to you like it took you quite a while to like to get to that point where you're like, okay, we both like this? Or was it pretty much like one or two drafts from each of you and you like synced up?
It was almost immediate.
Okay.
So because we were doing like the power metal shit together, um, there was just that like I don't know. There's like this immediate click whenever it came to writing with Chris, and still now, um, because there's a lack of ego.
Sure.
It's really cool because like we're both very, very, um, obviously like as songwriters, we think we know, um, like what we want,
Sure.
and we're very like adamant like this is the right play, like this is the right part of the song. And so what's funny is like we will go back and forth and we'll just disagree. We'll just straight up say, "No, I don't like that." Just to each other. It's like, "No, I don't like that at all."
Okay.
And he'll be like, "But trust me." And I'll be like, "No, no, no, trust me." And the beauty of having modern technology is like we both get to do what we're talking about.
Yeah.
So we'll do his way, we'll do my way. We'll either just make a decision there. If we still can't, we'll try mixing them. We'll try different ideas, and then occasionally, like we'll go back and listen, and be like, "Oh shit! Well, like you were right after all, or I was
Sure.
right after all." And
Okay.
what works so well for us is the lack of ego. And once again, because in a way, he's writing what I am doing, and I'm writing what he's doing. In a way, you already have to be fans of it. Like the moment, like we're working on a new song right now, working on two new songs, three actually, for the new album, and like we already have a song and a half, two songs towards the new album. And literally the moment I heard this fucking riff, I went, "Yeah, this is the syncopation." And that like I started it just sitting next to him. I was like, "Dude, this," and he just goes, "Yeah, fuck yeah." So like it's just those little things of being fans of what each other does flipped, because like the fucking riffs that he like the shit that he wrote for the song is so fucking dope. Like I can't wait to play it. That's what I think makes it so smooth is once again, I'm a fan of our music
Yeah.
because um because I'm not writing what I'm playing at first. Like he's writing what I'm playing and I go, "Yo, I either like this or I don't." And then in the same vein, whenever like I'm giving him lyrics, I'm giving him syncopation, and he's going, "Oh, that's fucking sick." Like he has to be a fan of it to want to do it. Otherwise, he's not going to do it.
Sure.
So yeah, it's just writing with him is just the smoothest fucking experience in existence, dude. Like,
Yeah.
um, we go back and forth on shit all the time. We fucking disagree all the time on shit, but like it's just there's no once again there's no ego, so
Sure.
there's not that emotional immaturity of how dare you not like what I'm writing kind of a thing. Um,
Yeah.
but
That's awesome.
yeah, yeah, it's one of the reasons why I have no problem. I used to have this like excessive need to be humble on shit like that,
Sure.
and not that like I'm like egotistical by any means, but like I'm a fan of our shit before I touch it.
Sure.
I'm a fan, like he's a fan of our shit before he touches it. So like we have songs, like there's two songs on that CD, two songs on this album that I wrote on piano completely. Like I wrote these songs on piano, and basically he took them and he turned them into like a full band thing.
Okay.
And then the newest song that we're working on is a song I wrote on piano. He heard it one day and he goes, "Yo, let's fucking use that." And so he just sat down with it and just fucking went. And like it's really cool. Like we're just fans of what
Yeah.
like we're fans of each other. And so that's what I think makes a really big difference is like I recognize how fucking talented he is as a songwriter, and he likes the way that I write songs too. So I think that's the difference maker.
Sure.
And I think that's why when it comes once again, to a lot of these other bands that have been around us that are successful, that like what we do, I think that they see that too. Like, um,
I don't
yeah,
I don't
it's
want to
really
get
cool.
into specifics cuz privacy matters and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah,
The people that were with you that
yeah,
were recording at the same time,
yeah.
what if you don't mind, like, I know how I feel about what you've made. I think it's really just like not like getting way overexcited. Your music is fucking good, and it's like super my jam.
Mm-hmm.
And those people that were with you that were recording at the same time are also like my jam, and they were saying like some of the same. I would assume they were saying some of the stuff that, or like had the same
Yeah.
sentiment that I did. Is that true?
Yeah. Not to your extremes. Nobody in that band told me move over Jimmy Page.
Okay.
Um, but
did,
yeah,
did
they
they
had some
see
nice things to
the
say.
did they see
Yeah.
the value in like, yo, these guys are gonna come up
Um,
like,
I'll give you no. I'll just give you like the exact words and like my favorite story of like one of the friends that I made. So like in that band, there's like I talked to 3 of the guys, and one of them is more on like a technical aspect, a setup aspect, and God, he's just such a nice guy. And we bonded over later, brother. Good to have you. We bonded over setting stuff up and basically like production stuff, and then another one of the guys I played video games with. I can't really go into more detail than that. And a lot of that is because they're in some of our footage, they're in some of our video blog footage, and basically I asked them for permission, saying, "Hey, listen, you guys are in some of our footage. We're not trying to piggyback off of you. We're not trying to promote that we were like that you're in any way associated with us, because they're not. They're
sure,
in no way, shape, or form associated with us. And it's their brand. You know what I mean? So it's like I'm
yeah,
very respectful of other people's brands. And so every video that we have already put out that involves any of them, and all the videos coming, I've literally sent to one of their guys that's kind of in charge, and basically said, "Hey, here's the footage. Are you okay with being represented this way?"
sure.
Um,
That's
and he's super dope about it. He's like, dude, he's like, I don't give a shit about that. He's like, but thanks for asking. Like every time, he's like, I don't give a fuck, but thanks for asking. And I'm going to ask every time because
sure.
it's not my brand. So all that prefacing, I can't say who it is because of that.
It's
because
Led
I
Zeppelin.
agreed to that.
I'm
It's
just gonna
Led
say
Zeppelin,
it.
guys.
I'm
Yeah,
leaking
there
it.
is. Yep, there it is.
It's Led Zeppelin.
It's actually Paul McCartney.
Led Zeppelin's 5 coming out next year.
Yeah,
Leaking it now.
got it. Here we go. I'm doing guest vocals. But Robert Plant said, "God damn, he's just too goddamn good." It's crazy.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you exactly what he said. So probably the guy that I'm closest with in that band, just big brother mentality. Like just he's gonna pick on you. He's gonna give you shit. Like if he likes you, he's giving you shit, and
Sure.
he's just that's him. And so he follows us in the studio one day, and he goes, "So what the fuck?" He's like, "So this is what you guys sound like, huh?" Because we're like playing one of the songs, and like, yeah. He's like, "Okay," and we just kind of talked about it for a little bit. He just walks out, and then like maybe an hour later, they took a break, and we were taking a break, and I walk by the studio, like our room, and he's sitting on the couch by himself. Like our producer's out of the room, we're all out of the room, we're all eating. I put my head in there. He just waves me in, and he goes, "All right, show me." And I was like, "All right." And so I showed him, pre-production for one of the songs that we were working on.
I just want to pause that real quick.
Yeah.
What the fuck was that like? What was?
I mean, I don't get starstruck. I really don't. But
come on, that doesn't happen all the time.
That's not a starstruck. But I don't think that's a starstruck experience. I think that's just like that was a human to human moment of like, oh, like this dude.
Yeah.
He wants to know. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
It was really. And showing one of the songs, he just kind of nods. He goes, "Okay," and then he shows one of his, like one of the ones that from the new album. Like, okay. show him one of the others. Show him one of the others. And we just sit there and we just talk. We just talk for like an hour, dude. Like just about life and shit like that. And he grabs me by my fucking kneecap and just squeezes it and he goes, well, it doesn't suck. And he just gets up and he walks off. And I was just
He just
laughing
leaves
so
you with
hard.
that?
He just left me with that. And I went, you know what? I'm like, okay. And one of the other guys poked his head in and he goes, he's like, what did he say? He's like, so what did he say? Like, what did he say or something like that? Like, he said it doesn't suck. He goes, oh, damn, that's the nicest thing he'd probably say about you. And so, like, it was like a compliment. And then we were tracking one of the other songs, and their vocalist poked his head in. And basically, while Chris was tracking, and he went, this shit sounding so fucking good, you guys. And then he just, like, pokes his head out. So, like, it was a really cool thing.
I think it's so cool that I mean I respect any musicians. I've had several friends that have tried their best to like make their band work and stuff. I've been not to your extent, like I've been to studios and stuff just to like hang out with my friends and like see what they're doing and stuff like that. But to be like that musician, to be you and have those people like right there in the trenches with you. Like,
yeah,
I don't know what because you're both groups are there working and
what got me, and so that's the big difference, right? Is like we didn't talk. Like I didn't talk to any of them for the first 4 days that we were there, and the biggest reason was I'm here to record a fucking album. Like I don't like in a way it's like I don't give a fuck who you are. Like I'm not here to fucking fawn over you. I'm here to fucking like make my future that I want to happen. Like I'm here to fucking do this. And we ended up talking like the last day of the first week. And that's kind of where like the bond started. And the second or third week in the studio, Cameron's tracking drums and one of the guys goes, this you guys? It's like, yeah, and he goes, okay. And so like it was this kind of dope moment of like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Because like if we weren't good, we wouldn't there's no need for him to say anything. Like he wouldn't have said anything.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't like we're all standing around looking at him. I was literally walking by to get water and he's just walking in the kitchen. And so it was fucking cool, man. I love those guys. They're so nice, and I'm so happy for what they're doing now.
Yeah, it's awesome.
They deserve so much of it. And then there's some other guys that like we ran into in the studio that like I've been keeping up with that talk to occasionally, and like they're doing well, and that it's just so cool to like kind of create that bond with these guys and like realizing like it was. I couldn't sleep one of the nights that we were in the studio, and I was literally just laying in bed staring at the fucking roof, and it was just like, it's the first time that it clicked where I went, there's no difference between me and my band and those guys. The only difference is that they're where I want to be.
Yeah.
But from a talent perspective, there's nothing that makes us different. And that's where I went, fuck. And they're legends, man. They're like they're legends. And like it was just that where I went, oh shit, like
Twisted Sister,
like Twisted goddamn Sister, absolutely.
Leaked again.
Just here we are.
No respect.
Side by side with fucking.
I really hope that
Jason Aldean.
I hope that you realized that like you weren't there to like fawn over these guys, and you were there to work, they were there to work too, but like you didn't have, well, I mean you did realize it because you've like formed a bond with these people, but like you're still just like dudes playing music, and like you don't like it's not an isolated thing. You were both there at the same time and had really cool experiences, and it's just
Yeah.
so cool.
Yeah, no, man, it is really rad, and like we've had, I mean, there's a few other things that have like happened since then that really lined up where I'm like, holy fuck, like yeah, so yeah, like long story short, man, like we're really hyped, and obviously like this next vid, like I don't want to say like we're expecting the video that we have coming out to be like the reason we pop off or anything. We kind of have that idea,
Sure.
but that's like we would love for that to be the case, right?
Sure.
But I can honestly say, is like the video that we have coming up is just, dude, like so the actors we had were on fucking real.
Yeah, I want to pause again. I've never filmed a music video with actors before. What the heck was that like?
Well, I'll tell you in just a moment. Brother Tim's, what are you doing?
That's the screamer for his band on his phone.
What you got, baby?
They're in a loving relationship.
No, but I'll send it to him. Actually, no, he does. Let me look. Let me.
It's,
You're very important to me.
very important official band business. They're setting up their tour with Kiss and AC/DC right now. Just so everybody knows for the record.
Let me see. Oh, shit. Brian. Ooh, God bless, girl. Hold on.
Brian!
Brian? Let me see. Two. Calling with a live attached. This, blah, blah, blah. Oh. Let me see. I'm really glad you said that because I would have fucking forgot. No. Well, we didn't get that one, but he had version 2, not version 4. Yeah. So let me send that now. Let me make sure I do that while I think about it, or else I forget. Are you getting off work now? So. I feel that, dude. We'll chill maybe tomorrow or something like that, or Tuesday, yeah. Yep.
Now we're sitting in silence,
All good, dude.
looking
That works for me.
at Kyle's mustache.
All right, brother.
It's powerful. Just like
Okay, we'll do something Wednesday. All right, man. All right, see ya. So what the fuck were we talking about? Oh yeah, so yeah, working with actors.
yeah.
So it was crazy. So the first video that we did was all performance based, and so it's just like a cinematographer, and he's just basically let's fucking line up the song, let's fucking play to the song, and that's it.
Sure.
And let's set up these shots. Here's you singing your parts. Here's him screaming his parts. Pressing quick cuts. That's it. This was dope. They had 8 scenes to shoot. Friday, they get with Chris and basically have Chris do his parts. And we have like this like just different shots that he did for them. Fucking Saturday morning, dude. It's like here's these actors, here's the fucking itinerary. Boom, we're setting up lights in this room. Here's the scene. He's fucking directing these guys. Fucking doing this shot over and over and over again. Boom, guys take a break, setting up lights here. Like it was nuts. And like the thing is like the people we have in this, like the kids are like on the fucking Disney Channel, fucking Nickelodeon.
Oh wow.
Like the dude that we had is like I've never heard of him as an actor, but he was so fucking good. The chick is like she works at like Disney as like playing like Belle and fucking like all these other fucking for like the performances, not like walking around.
Uh-huh.
Like so it was wild to see. Like it was literally I got so uncomfortable during one of the scenes that like I had to walk outside. Like,
Wow.
like I like because it's like a very intense video. Like you'll see when it comes out, it's a very very intense fucking video. And I was just like whoo boy,
Yeah.
like my trauma coming to the surface, baby. Like I literally just yeah, I love that one. It's a good one. Yeah, like I literally had to step outside because I was so uncomfortable during some of the scenes.
Wow.
I can't hear this, like it's wild. But it's really going to yeah, I can't wait until it comes out. So it's like I said, I don't think like obviously we're sitting here hoping like okay, this is gonna be a difference maker. And like it's the most different song on the CD. It's the most intense lyrical song on the CD. The message, like musically, we feel like we really delivered it how we wanted to. And then this video coming out really to me solidifies like just the way that these kids that's these kids, but the way that like all these actors like portrayed it was
Sure.
just very like holy shit. So I really feel like we're gonna like see some cool stuff off of that.
Cool.
And then I think this guy we're definitely gonna shoot with him in the future because just the way that everything was organized, it was just a great fucking experience all around.
That's pretty cool.
So yeah, man.
Huh.
Yeah. I think you guys can tell that I've kind of faded over time because your boy ain't got enough caffeine in him.
Well, you're in luck, Kyle, because I think that's what we're
Oh,
gonna
shit.
call it for the real
did that.
Jimmy
Take that out.
Hours episode 0 Origins.
Yeah. And then next week we'll have an actual logo. We'll have some fucking social media. We'll have some fucking names.
Next week there will be more than a gradient and a strange font.
Beautiful.
Because hey, guess what? I decided to work on the production 30 minutes before we went live.
Got you.
Next week, just to give everybody a little primer, I have I want to talk about like the teenage years. Cuz I've got some I'm not going to I'm not sure that I'm gonna grill Kyle as hard. I'm not gonna go as hard right off the bat as I did today.
Yeah, you fucking just blindsided me with fucking.
Yeah.
God damn.
Not gonna ask if you had a happy teenage experience.
Yeah.
But I've got some stuff that like I'm gonna grill myself, I guess. I got some shit. I got some shit that happened in like from 14 to 19.
Okay. All right, my guy.
That'd be pretty interesting to hear your take on and.
Yeah, dude. Fucking real Jimmy Hours, baby.
Real Jimmy Hours is not exclusive to asking Kyle if he had a happy childhood. It's
no shit.
sometimes I gotta say if I had a happy time. Kyle, I do want to ask.
What's up, brother Jim?
I want to ask of you, if you could bring that expression is great. If you could bring one or two, like, hard-hitting questions, maybe throw me off like I threw you off as kind of like small revenge.
I will do my best. I will do my best.
Because I feel like you've asked some pretty tough shit in the past.
Yeah.
And I realize
that my questions are always like it tends to be based off the context of the situation.
Yeah.
Like I tend to just do the old psychological fucking.
Yeah, you just break me down.
Yeah, dude. If you ask me.
How do you feel about next Sunday?
Next Sunday works for me, buddy.
Next Sunday around the same time works for me as well.
Same time, dude. Let's go.
This is now a weekly podcast taking the place of the music review show.
Yep.
Except I won't rename this channel into something else.
Twitch.tv/official Allstaros.
when I realized that's what you guys did, I was like,
Yeah.
that's smart.
Isn't that? We smart out here
We
sometimes.
smart out here sometimes. Well, Kyle, thank you for indulging my weird idea.
Dude, I enjoyed it, Jim.
I had a lot of fun.
Same.
And I hope everybody watching got a weird glimpse into two weird dudes on the internet.
Yeah, dude. No, I'm glad that we streamed this because like a lot of our conversations, there weren't really any today, but there's definitely those points where it's pop off moments, and I can't wait until we get one. I can't wait until we get footage of one of those. So
this was in my notebook. This was the icebreaker, where I was like, let's just do it so we can say that we started. Let's start before we like. Kyle, tell me about how breakups affect you as a person, and how you grow and are sad about it.
shit.
That's next week. So
Okay, let's fucking go. We'll talk for 4 hours.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for watching. We'll see you next Sunday at 6 p.m. EST with more production. I'm Jake, and this is Kyle. This has been Real Jimmy Hours.
See you guys.
Later days.